Welcome to the Business Etiquette course. Create and keep a positive professional impression. Chapter 1. Success in any industry relies on relationships, whether with coworkers, clients, suppliers, or investors. When you're well-mannered and considerate in dealing with others, you create engaging, productive, and long-term business relationships. As such, it is important to learn not just the technical side of a business, but how to conduct oneself in the company of others. This is where business etiquette comes in. This course will introduce participants to business etiquette, as well as provide guidelines for the practice of business etiquette across different situations. Workshop objectives. Research has consistently demonstrated that when clear goals are associated with learning, that the learning occurs more easily and rapidly. With that in mind, let's review our goals for today. Define etiquette and provide an example of how etiquette can be of value to a company or organization. Understand the guidelines on how to make effective introductions. Identify the 3 C's of a good impression. Identify at least one way to minimize nervousness while in social situations. Understand how to use a business card effectively. Identify and practice at least one way to remember names. Identify the 3 steps in giving a handshake. Enumerate the 4 levels of conversation and provide an example for each. Understand place settings, napkin etiquette, and basic table manners. Understand the protocol in ordering in a restaurant, handling alcohol in a business meal, paying the bill, and tipping. Understand basic guidelines when it comes to the proper form of address, grammar standards, and use of acronyms in emails. Understand basic guidelines in the use of the telephone, voicemail, and cell phone. State the difference between a formal and an informal letter. Create an effective thank you note. Understand the meaning of colors in dressing for success. Differentiate among the dressy casual, semi-formal, formal, and black tie dress code. Understand basic guidelines in international etiquette. Chapter 8. Telephone Etiquette. In the last chapter, we looked at email etiquette. This time, we will look at telephone etiquette. Particularly, we will discuss how to develop an appropriate greeting, how to deal with voicemail, and cell phone do's and don'ts. Developing an appropriate greeting. How to create an appropriate phone greeting. Say your greeting. Business telephones should always be answered with a phrase like good morning or good afternoon. Speak clearly and distinctly in a pleasant tone of voice. Some trainers recommend smiling before one answers the phone in order to project a positive energy into one's voice. Identify yourself and the company. It's only polite to tell the other person on the line that they've reached the right place. This is ABC Company, Carol speaking, or you've reached Marks & Spencer's. This is Jonathan. Inquire how you might be of assistance. How may I be of service? Or how can I help you? Can set the tone. Dealing with voicemail. Tips on leaving a voicemail message. State your name, affiliation, and phone number. State your reason for calling. State any action plan or action required on your message. Tips on managing your own voicemail. Record your own personal greeting. Include in your greeting your name, the department and/or company name so that people know they have reached the correct person. Give people information that can help them to help you, to save you time as well. For example, please leave a brief message stating how I can help you, along with your phone number, and I will call you back. Stay on top of your messages. The number of times you check voicemail each day will vary depending on your job function and industry. However, if you have not told people differently, at a minimum you should check messages once a day and return those calls. State when you'd be unavailable if you can't respond within 24 hours. For example, I'm out of the office today, January 3rd. I will be returning January 5th. I will not check voicemail until I'm back. If this is an emergency or you need immediate assistance, please call Bill Withers at 555-555-6543. Cell phone do's and don'ts. Here are some cell phone do's and don'ts. Don't take calls in the middle of a business meeting or a conversation with another person. Exceptions are urgent calls, but excuse yourself first before taking it. Likewise, set your ringer to silent or set your phone to vibrate mode when in a social conversation. Never talk in intimate settings or places where silence is imperative. Examples of these are elevators, libraries, museums, restaurants, cemeteries, theaters, dentist or doctor office waiting rooms, places of worship, auditoriums, or other enclosed public spaces such as hospital emergency rooms or buses. Don't talk on a cell phone in a public place. A good rule to keep is the 10 feet rule. Answer calls at least 10 feet away from the next person. If you really have to take a call in public, step out or to a secluded area to take that call. You can also set your phone to voicemail when going out in public. If you really must take the call, answer briefly to tell that you are in a public place and that you would return the call as soon as possible. Keep business calls within business hours. Just because it's a cell phone doesn't mean that you can call any time.